All right, Nika, the 2026 NFL International schedule is here, and we are talking about it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
This bullet just handed to me.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Yes, indeed, this is Breaking NFL on the Kanika Sports Channel. But first, it's time to jump.
Might as well jump. Go ahead and jump.
That's right, if this is your first time here, we are asking you to please jump on into the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and ringing that bell for our official mascot, Frexy, everybody. Look at that bundle of joy running around the park, and we hope she brings as much joy into your lives as she does into ours.
Thank you so much.
All right, Nika, the NFL has released its 2026 schedule of international games ahead of its 2026 schedule release, which will be later tonight, and we are excited for that. But first, we got these international games leaked out today just to give us, I guess, something to talk about.
Sure.
This is just the beginning.
I was looking at the list of games, and I had a couple observations. But first, why don't we just list these off one by one and give a little bit of pertinent information that we have about each one of these games.
Okay.
Kicking it off, opening week, it will be the Melbourne game on Friday, September 10th. We have the San Francisco 49ers facing off against the Los Angeles Rams.
Are you not entertained?
And then we are skipping week 2 and heading to Rio de Janeiro for week 3, where it will be the Baltimore Ravens playing off against the Dallas Cowboys, everybody.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
And then we have week 4, we go to London for 3 straight weeks.
Where?
London.
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 And kicking it off, it will be the Indianapolis Colts playing against the Washington Commanders. Then we get the honorary London team.
London?
Yes, London. You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Merry fucking Poppins, London.
Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is in week 5.
What do you take me for? This is England.
We have one more England game. The Houston Texans this time facing off again against Jacksonville, the Jaguars.
Double down.
All right, moving right along to week number 7, a short distance away from London to Paris, France, where it will be the Pittsburgh Steelers facing off against the New Orleans Saints, which is only fitting. The fleur-de-lis logo in Paris, everybody.
Definitely.
Holy shnikes.
Week 9, we head to Madrid, Spain, everybody. And in a game I thought my beloved Bears would be playing in against the Atlanta Falcons, it was not to be. It was a different animal selected. It was the Cincinnati Bengals.
It's a damn shame. A damn shame.
We have Germany and Mexico. It will be in Munich, Germany on week 10. The New England Patriots facing off against the Detroit Lions. And then to close out the 2026 international schedule of games, it will be the Minnesota Vikings taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And there you have it, your 2026 schedule of international games in the NFL, Nika. I had some observations and some thoughts as we went through that list.
Let's see. The Bears are missing.
Well, the Bears are missing, and we are going to get to that before we get out of here. But a couple of quick, just general observations here. The 49ers and Jaguars are both playing twice. They have 2 games apiece, but the San Francisco 49ers have to make 2 trips, although one is just to Mexico City. So you could argue it's not an international flight.
Denied.
True. No time zone changes as much as the Australian.
Yeah, not quite as crazy of a time zone change. So I guess you could say that is quote unquote acceptable.
Yeah.
That they don't have to make 2 trips over the ocean in the same season where no other team has to. You know, that's a little bit much.
Yeah.
We know how this can rack your sleeping schedule and, you know, impact your play. And that's the last thing that the NFL wants out of this international tour is to have the actual on-field play suffer.
Course. Therefore, the Jaguars staying there for 2 weeks because of that.
Well, they stay there for 2 weeks, but I think all these teams get there like and almost practice there all week so that
Absolutely.
they're
Adjusted.
not getting there and having to adjust from making a 12-hour flight. I noticed that they both got 2 games, and that's kind of interesting to me because I do think that we are headed towards 16 international games in a season at some point very soon, and that all 32 NFL teams will be participating in those games.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
So it's interesting to me that we are still getting like double ups here, but maybe they just didn't have any other options this year that were viable because of other things that were going on.
Yeah, potentially. But if it goes to 16 games next season, or maybe in the next 2 seasons, because I don't think they're going to go from this to 16 right away. It will be direct.
Let me say, too, I think that's going to come hand in hand with the expansion of the schedule
Yes.
going to 18 games. And I do think they will also add in a second bye week when they do that, and that they should factor in these international games with those bye weeks so that teams can get there, have a nice game, and then get back safe and then get recovered
Right.
with a full extra week. So we'll see how that all works and plays out in the future. But for now, this year, we get 9 NFC teams and 7 AFC teams participating in the international games. So thank you to those teams for spreading the game internationally.
All right. I hope the stadiums get filled up because I know they have groupies that follow the teams. So that's one part that's great.
They do. Yeah.
But hopefully the local communities can also participate.
Yeah, I hope so too. You know, like with the way tickets are handled in the United States, I hate to see that stuff happening overseas when we're supposed to be spreading the game, and yet we don't really give the locals access to the tickets, even though they have access.
Exactly. The famous word, access.
Nevertheless, these games are going to go on, and I'm excited because, you know, it's always fun to have NFL games on when there's no other games on.
And it's nice to see how much it has grown since it was 2-3 times a season they used to have games.
Yeah, if that. So it's really grown, and it's only going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
Nika, do any of these games stand out to you? Any of these games you're anticipating more than maybe some of the others when you look at it at first glance?
I like the Australian game because it's the first time in Australia.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
Yeah.
And it's 49ers and the Rams, so it's a
Division rivals, yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely stands out.
And I also like the Munich game just because, you know, my relationship to Germany.
Sure, absolutely. No, I like both of those choices. They both stand out to me, actually. I have the first 2 games actually as anticipated games.
Holy shnikes.
But I'm also excited for the Rio de Janeiro game with the Ravens and the Cowboys, who are supposed to be a little bit more improved this year, perhaps. It doesn't take long in the NFL, folks. And we also have the Ravens and Lamar. So we get a nice quarterback matchup in this game with 2 of the best in the league, in my opinion. Certainly in the top 10, Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson. My least anticipated game, I think, is the Steelers and Saints game. I don't know how competitive both of those teams are going to actually wind up being this year.
That is one big pile of shit.
The Steelers, of course, have had coaching change, and that always comes with some culture change. Can work out, but it can also signal a rebuild, and I think the Steelers are more in that camp.
Yeah.
And the Saints, I don't know how much improved they're going to be over last year, at least right now. Everyone has high hopes, of course.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
But I am also eagerly anticipating those last 2 games in Munich and Mexico City for reasons that are biased, and that is because they affect the NFC North, everybody. The Lions and the Vikings participating, and the Vikings have to go to Mexico City, so no international flight, but the Lions have to go to Munich, which is one of the farthest inwards in Europe, at least when you're coming from that direction. So I wonder how that will affect them coming out of that game.
It's a damn shame. A damn shame.
I have a list of teams that are not traveling, Nika. And the first one on my list is, of course, our Chicago Bears.
The Bears. The Bears.
I just want to take a side detour here for 1 second and just say that as a Bears fan, I'm very both glad and disappointed about this.
Fair.
The Bears.
I'm going to start with the reason why it's disappointing, and that is because I feel like we have one of the best young players in the game, Caleb Williams.
You're everyone's problem.
I feel like if there's anybody in the league that should be helping spread the game internationally, it's the young players, the players that are going to be here a decade from now. You know, at the end of the day, for me, it's about getting the kids in Europe invested in football because, A, we want them to start playing the game over there and creating a new breed of talent, perhaps, or at least adding to the existing talent pool.
Okay.
And we also want them to become fans and to become fans for life. And there's no one that has a longer lifespan ahead of them right now than the children, everybody.
This is just the beginning.
I'm also glad about this a little bit because the Bears don't have to travel overseas, everybody. And we just talked about how that can wreck you and wreck your body and your sleeping schedule and your recovery time and all that stuff. So on that note, I'm actually kind of glad that they don't have to worry about it.
That's a very good point. And that also brings the Bears as a front runner for a season opener.
Denied.
We'll wait and see how that works out. But yeah, you would think that, you know, because they're not getting an international game, that just makes them likelier choices for games like the season opener, perhaps Thanksgiving Day with Detroit, Christmas Day.
Yes.
Things like that. And those are, I want the Bears to be a part of the special games. You know, I've heard some arguments that I wish the Bears and all the teams just played on Sunday at 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever. And I just have to push back and be like, you know, that day is never coming back, guys. It's never coming back. And if you want your team to be good, which you do,
of course,
most likely, then you better just embrace the chaos. You better embrace Thanksgiving Eve being a thing. You better embrace Christmas, and you better embrace owning Netflix and Peacock and ESPN and NFL Network and everything else.
That's a crazy thing, you know, with everything that's happening with the streaming services, cutting the cord, and now it's like you need 5 different streaming services in order to get you football in. That's nuts.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
I got a lot of problems with you people.
As a Bears fan and as somebody that wants Caleb Williams to be an ambassador for the NFL, I'm a little bit disappointed that the Bears are not having one of these international games. Joining the Bears are the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Denver Broncos, the LA Chargers, the Green Bay Packers, the Arizona Cardinals, the Seattle Seahawks, the defending champions, the New York Giants, and, as I said, the Bears.
The Bears. Ah, the Bears.
And we also got Tampa Bay and Carolina, everybody. My fault. Can't forget Tampa Bay and Carolina. Can't forget the NFC South, everybody.
Well, hopefully it will get better so we will remember them.
So a couple things stand out, though, from that list of teams that I just listed off, and that is the lack of top-tier, or I guess this list of top-tier quarterbacks from these teams that are not going to be traveling overseas. We got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
Well, he's injured. We don't know when he's going to start.
He wants to start the season. He's going to play next year.
Of course.
Bo Nix, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, who we mentioned, Sam Darnold, Jackson Dart. It's a lot of mixture of veteran quarterbacks. Now, we do have Matthew Stafford playing over there. We do have Lamar Jackson playing over there. We do have Dak Prescott playing an international game. Possibly Aaron Rodgers if the Steelers are able to sign him or find him. We got Drake May. We got Brock Purdy, Jared Goff. You know, we do have Trevor Lawrence, Jaden Daniels. So there are quarterbacks that are being represented in these international games. I just wanted to point out some of the bigger names that aren't.
That's fair, but you have to pick and choose. You can't have all the great quarterbacks going overseas.
All right, that's true. I'll give you that. Another thing that stood out, though, was the lack of major market teams that are playing in these games. So we do have the LA Rams in the first one, in the Australia game in week 1. But after that, we have no Chicago. We have both New York teams missing, the Jets and the Giants. We have the other LA team missing, the Chargers. The defending champions, for gosh sakes, the Seattle Seahawks not representing the league overseas.
I see the pattern
And
here.
the Raiders also missing. And I bring up the Raiders only for the fact that I feel like they are still one of the most recognizable brands in all of the NFL worldwide.
And they got number 1 pick as a quarterback, so maybe they should have been broadcasting him more.
Just some observations that I noticed. You brought up the quarterback, and it's not just this year's number 1 pick that's missing. It is last year's number 1 pick, Cam Ward, the Tennessee Titans, not playing. And the Chicago Bears, 2024, number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, not playing in an international game. I do question some of the decisions that went into this, and I'm just pointing out some things that I noticed.
East Coast bias? Anybody? There's more East Coast teams than the West Coast teams.
Well, you have Washington, you have Baltimore, Indianapolis, I guess you could argue is an Eastern time zone team.
Bengals.
Philadelphia, Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati's East, New England, obviously. But yeah, I don't know if there's an East Coast bias here.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm willing to go that tinfoil on this one. I just thought that the major markets are missed opportunities, because why do you not want games when they're the only game on to be not in markets where you have the most eyeballs potentially to watch it?
Denied.
They want to spread the word to the smaller markets.
Or they think Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football are more valuable. And
There's
those
that
teams like Chicago, LA, New York are going to be seeing more time on those slots. Maybe Thursday Night Football.
Well, Thursday Night Football from Amazon Prime was the most watched game last year.
All right, well, just a few news and notes about the international games in the 2026 NFL season. What are your thoughts? What games are you looking forward to the most? What game are you least looking forward to out of this international schedule? Let us know in the comments below, and we will talk to you on the next one.